0 against Mali. The young man was running away from taking the ball.
He didn't want it. Give me away, give me away.
He was practically running away. He was running away when we were being marooned and we were under attack from the Malians, and he had the opportunity of staking a claim in the team. Anytime an attempt was made to him with the ball, with the pass,
he's running away.
He's running away, leaving the ball.
Welcome again. And oh, the Puka just arrived. Benjamin Iketia here, Sports Panorama, Friday night. We are live. So proudly brought to us by Shell Helix and Betway. Also Bell Beverages, specifically Puka, non-alcoholic herbal drink. Love it. A lot to digest on the show today. I'll let the rabbi take a little breather for like 10 minutes before I bring him in. I'm going to talk basketball before he comes. Today I'll talk about basketball to start the show. The NBA Finals just ended. The Denver Nuggets have won their first ever NBA championship. Guess who's owner of the Denver Nuggets? Stan Kroenke.
Silent Stan.
Thank you.
His NFL team has won in the last 3 years. His NHL team has won. It looks like it's the soccer that he can't handle because his MLS team is not doing well. So it's the soccer that's worrying.
So Kroenke is doing his thing. Arsenal fans, that name is very common or it resonates with you guys. We'll talk about that in a bit. Mediama Sporting Club, they have been crowned champions of the Ghana Premier League. They have a new stadium heading into their campaign in Africa. We'll be telling you about that. Also, Ghana's Black Meteors, they departed for Egypt, where they'll be playing a couple of friendlies before they eventually head on to Morocco. The first of those friendlies was played yesterday. Ghana's Black Stars, they were heading to the airport today when I was heading to get lunch. Their bus just popped up behind me, and I just instantly knew they were going to the airport. And so we'll talk about the Black Stars as well. They have a date with Madagascar on Sunday. There's a big Donkomi. Big Donkomi. Jude Bellingham. Look, there are very few things on this planet as iconic as a Comunicado Oficial from Real Madrid. When they say Comunicado Oficial, Real Madrid, you know it's a big deal. All that and more coming up on the show. 0549-986-996. 0549-986-996. Nathan Kwao is here. Susu Graham is here. Coach Christopher Nimley is here. These days, I can't even call him Sheikh Altani anymore because the whole thing do some weight. Hey, coach.
It's actually looking a bit more like it than it's looked in the last few weeks.
No more che. Oh, no.
Pichichi is here. Evans Ofochumanso, aka Pichichi, El Pichi, Don Pichi. You can add whatever you want to it. 0549-986-996, 0549-986-996. Today time is already gone. I'm trying to do some small b-ball. So let's get straight into the action. Let's talk about the Nuggets. It's all come together for them.
Get bored and Barcelona. When you
Let him pray. Let him pray.
Yeah,
Let's pray.
Prayer is the key. So.
Prayer is the key.
Yeah.
Even before basketball, they sing "God Bless America."
Of course.
Rabbi,
Of course, no more.
the congregation have requested your special prayers.
Yehovah Zebaoth.
Oh.
Yehovah Zebaoth. Wakangmene sewa nima sewa nama sewa Yehovah no bale woba. Ghana ma Movember watwe mene ni bi ehye. Waka basketball ba jenji. Womani small ball na akani ni tula. Wakangmene nyenye be ne nye hyedi anyemi. Ka gbena. Womani was small ball na akana ni tula. Wo ba afen ogbe ami. Koni program ayemu. Wakangmene oba UAG. Akeko win GP ambo nye $26,000. Oh Yehovah Zebaoth.
Saneba.
Mini sanele. Ena aka wo liga is alive eh. Wo liga le egbo eche.
Life support.
Kaje eche, egbo eche. Life support fenye mu na. Egbo mo. Shi wo le benu oba twon wo chenle. No only egbo ye Yesu gba mi eti ohye ko ye wale mi.
Amen.
Wo liga ba te hye ko because e be na ba ke October ba na gbe anwe. No ni sa ka afi no liga ba te hye ko ye Yesu gba mi.
Amen.
Nyamo here no judge wo.
Judge.
No judge wo. Atan na egbe no mo. Yo wa ke shi dambo One double shi. Wo atan na egbe no mo wo ke shi dambo. Wo la ke no ni ba le bo mo. Ye bo gba mi Sheikh Jassim Atani. Wo gbe no mo ye Yesu gba mi. Amen.
Amen. We'll see if we can get back to the action. Okay, yes, a little technical hitch there. Let's start off with some basketball because, like I said, the Denver Nuggets have won their first ever championship.
I want to ask Coach a question before we start the basketball.
You should.
Coach, when Sheikh Altani comes, I think you should start learning Arabic so you can give the prayer in
Oh,
Arabic.
no,
I think
you see, I've told the whole world that I will trend for 1 month
last time
as
you
the
said-
most important person in Ghana.
Coach, last time you said 1 week.
Now it's 1 month
Okay, thank you. I'm just
because
making sure.
my dress code, the language I will speak, where I will go, the pictures I will take with Atani himself. No more.
Charlie, if this takeover happens, it's about to be really epic in this country. Like I said, Arsenal owner Stan Kroenke has other interests. His other interests are doing really well. In fact, in the last 2 seasons, 4 of his 6 franchises?
He owns quite a few, even lacrosse.
He has
and
actually
this.
7 sports franchises. 4 of them have won championships in the last 2 years. So his NFL franchise, the Rams, they won the Super Bowl. The Denver Nuggets belong to him. They've won the NBA.
And
He has-
the Colorado Avalanche, I believe in
the Avalanche in the NHL.
NHL. Yeah.
Ice hockey. They've won the title of the Stanley Cup, and then there's also the lacrosse team winning their championship. But focus has been on Nikola Jokic, Serbian international who looked like he wasn't even interested in playing basketball a few years ago. Came from a team called Mega Vizura, where he was the MVP for the 1 season where he actually played a full campaign with them. Before that, he was languishing in the second team of a team called Vojvodina. He was putting up big numbers, but nobody was even looking at him. He's led his team to a championship. He's the first guy in NBA history to lead the playoffs in points, rebounds, and assists. Not even the legendary Michael Jordan or LeBron James have achieved these feats. Big time, big deal. Susu, I'm just going to take thoughts from you, Nathan, and I'll wrap it up myself. But what stuck out for you the most in this Nuggets championship run? Because they were not very fancy. In fact, even at the conference final level, there were people still saying that these guys were not good enough. They will eventually be figured out.
And you remember I told you a few months ago that I expected them to go very far. That when I looked at the roster construction, it was going to happen. I think it's a win for team basketball because you see a player who he passes the ball, he gets his teammates involved, and Jokic himself, he's unguardable, but he doesn't come to play that he wants to score 40 every night. I think that's the key. When you have a player who can score 40 every night but chooses not to, he wants to pass, he wants to do the team play. And it's very important. He gets his teammates involved and he works around the team. I think this year, a lot of people, because the Denver Nuggets are not that well known, they are not that popular, they were kind of underrated by a lot of people. Because if you look at their starting lineup, the only person with all-star appearances is Nikola Jokic. The rest of the first team the starters have not made all-stars. The only other all-star on their team, I believe, is DeAndre Jordan, who does not get significant minutes. So it's not really a star-studded team, but they knew what they were doing. They knew they had a plan and they executed it. And I said when I saw them playing the Miami Heat in the finals, I think that it was going to be 6 games max because I just felt that the roster was just so well constructed and Miami had been a bit lucky with their shooting going into the game. So I'm glad to see it. It's great to see a team that you don't really know as well winning some championships, and it makes the NBA more interesting. And what we have to say is that if you look at it now, the last 3-4 years, actually last 5 years, the MVPs have all been foreigners. And 2 of them have been African. So it shows that the NBA is really becoming more international, more global. Yeah. And when I say African, I say of African descent because Giannis represents Greece, of course, but this is a son of Nigerian immigrants. So
Embiid is Cameroonian.
Embiid is Cameroonian. You have Nikola Jokic, who also won 2, who's from Serbia. So it's very interesting to see how the NBA will kind of react to this and the way, because that's the thing, it's a very copycat league. When one team does something, other players, other teams want to kind of mimic them and get in on the act. So it's very, very interesting to see how it plays out.
I think that my takeaways initially from this is that, like I said, I think Nikola Jokic leading the Nuggets to the final or to the title has brought the big man back. I'll say this because if you look at the NBA, like you already said, very copycat.
Even then, just Giannis, the 5 years of big men winning. We haven't. It was becoming a guards league. I think Michael Jordan made it a guards league.
Yeah,
because before MJ was a big man league.
When you talk Giannis, even I don't even like to talk about Giannis as a big man a lot because he's not your traditional big man. You know, he can dribble, he can literally take 3 steps and be at the opposite end of the court. So I like to put him in between like the swing category. But I'm even talking Jokic, like back to the basket guy, can pass, can post up, can do most of the things. A lot of the league was moving away from that, especially when the Golden State Warriors emerged in 2015 with their run and gun 3-point shooting style. A lot of teams started gravitating towards 3-point shooting basketball. And all of a sudden, it looked like the league did not care about mid-range shots anymore. The league didn't care about post scoring anymore. What Jokic has done is that all of a sudden, and it even happened before they won the championship. A lot of teams, based on the kind of production he was earning, had started to sort of like switch how the kind of players they were drafting. So if you look at a team like the Houston Rockets, they had a lot of good guards in that draft class, but they went and drafted Jabari Smith Jr. Stretch forward, Jokic type of guy, not as polished, but he looks like he's in that mode. You look at a guy like even DeAndre Ayton. He was drafted by the Suns because of not his rim protection, but he was
very good mid-range shooter. He's actually very
mid-range.
He
could rebound. He could pass. Then we have Chet Holmgren going.
Even look at Jaren Jackson Jr.
Jaren Jackson Jr. Perfect example. So I feel like Jokic is validation for teams who want to go out there and draft the big man because look, without him, none of this would have happened for them. But quick thoughts, Nathan. I mean, what stuck out for you the most again about this playoff run? Was it the Heat and their tenacity and their grind out style? Was it Jokic and the Nuggets, Jamal Murray? What just stuck out for you real quick?
I think on a point on either side, when the series started, of course, the first thing I'll say, I did not think the Golden State Warriors had in them to win. If they had won, I'd been surprised. I'd have been happy, but I'd been very surprised. I watched the Nuggets and I was very blown away by how fluid they played. You know, most times you expect a team to have a big man and all the big man can do is block shots, all of that. But I thought they looked really good, and I thought they had a lot more about them than just Jokic, even though Jokic still had a way of keeping his imprint on the team. And I was very delighted seeing guys like Jamal Murray, Gordon, Caldwell Pope, and these other guys just
I'm glad they didn't mention Michael Porter.
you know,
MPJ is still my guy.
you know, and just providing a lot, because that run required a lot of contributions from others, even though Jokic was the main guy. And even though in Steve Kerr's estimation, Jamal Murray was the head of the snake, so think more about him. On the Heat, I was very impressed with the tenacity to drag themselves through the series the way they did, especially when they played Boston. I did not think they had it in them to beat Boston, but the kind of tenacity they showed, Jimmy Butler was leading. But I also think that this same series highlights the deficiencies of the Heat as a team, and Eric Spoelstra as a coach needs to think about what this team can do next season and what they lacked. I think they lacked weapons to counter, especially Denver, because I think that if they had a more all-round team, they would have given Denver a lot more problems. I didn't think they had enough outside Butler. They didn't have Tyler Hero, so they didn't have anybody shooting the ball. Bam really couldn't give them a lot on the offensive end, even though he really tried. And I thought too much rested on Jimmy Butler, and he had to do too many things, playing good defense, still leading the line. I think they needed somebody they could throw at the Nuggets and say, you know, if you can shoot, we can shoot too, that kind of thing. And I think they just didn't have it. They really didn't have it. And it cost them.
Caleb Martin sustained them for a minute.
I want to disagree with Nathan a bit in the sense that
That's fair. I mean, I'm looking at it from a very untrained.
I would say that give any other coach this team,
and they'll suck.
They won't go anywhere.
I was just about to say.
I think Eric
that's
Spoelstra
true. You see, there's a certain dimension.
Honestly.
That's true. There's a certain dimension in sports coaching, in football, basketball, whatever. The crop you have will take you to a point. Your next level, coaching won't unlock the next level. It's better talent that will unlock the next level. Right? You get the point I'm making. Look at Mike Malone and look at the team he has. Look at Eric Spoelstra. Spoelstra has to coach out of his mind to get these guys here. But if he had better quality players,
it's a sweep.
It's a sweep. So I'm saying that if the Heat had just a few more quality pieces, it would have dragged the series. But I think Jokic comes out of it brilliantly. You know, I was watching something on somewhere, and JJ Redick made a point and said, why are we, when the Nuggets knocked out the Lakers?
Why are we talking about
the conversation was LeBron and the Lakers. Why are we not talking about the Nuggets? And I think Jokic didn't have to make a lot of noise. He let his basketball speak for him. And I think what he has done, like you said, he's validated the big man. And he's told people that the big man is not only a presence to block shots. There is a big man who can put the ball on the floor, orchestrate plays, and just make things really nice. Jokic is essentially a guard in a big man's body. You know, and it was just lovely just watching him do his thing on the floor. It was just brilliant.
It really was brilliant. I think big shout outs to Eric Spoelstra, because look, for the longest time, they were never getting the hype. Even during the LeBron D-Wade era, it was always about they won because they had a big three. They won. But people forget that he won a championship before LeBron came to town. He won a championship with Hardaway, with Shaquille O'Neal and Cole before they came to town. And if you remember him, he was a video analyst. Like I always say,
very hard to
I always say that when I watch him coaching, the things that strike me the most are the kind of adjustments that he makes, because he sees things that his opposite...
In football language, tactical tweaks.
Exactly. He sees things that his opposite number does not typically see. He will make an adjustment that his opposite number will typically find hard to make. So, shout outs to Spo. I think he's really coached out of his mind to get...
The other thing I will say about this series, for me, is not... The part that I enjoyed most around this series was not necessarily Denver per se. I just looked at teams like Boston and how it didn't work well for them after losing last year's final. The expectation was that they would get back there. They did it. And I listened to a lot of people talk about that. And in my mind, even as just a fan who's watching, I started to ask myself, what will happen to Boston? How will they look like next season? Because there's still this talk about what do they do? Do they blow up the team? Do they take one of either Brown or Tatum away? So
there's a lot going on.
I think the NBA, because it's a zero-sum league, in the sense that there's no cups, there's no European qualification, there's no other acceptable goals is win a championship or bust. So so every year it seems like it's an overreaction every year, but it's the nature of the league.
It really is. And talk about the NBA. Teams will come back from this season, next season, and they'll look unrecognizable. There'll be just one player from the starting unit of that team on there. So it's just
even Denver might lose some players because of contracts.
People have won championships, so they want to go and get their money now.
Yeah.
So
for me, the biggest question, as a fan who's just watching, I just want to find out what's going to happen to Damian Lillard.
Good question. I think.
Let
me just answer that before we move on to other things. So I feel like Dame has become a victim of his own words because he was out there taunting guys
he said they are running from their grind.
Taunting guys like Russell Westbrook,
And KD.
Kawhi, KD,
Paul George.
that, look, you guys don't stay with the team that drafted you. You are always looking for the next big thing to move on to. And I felt like those comments were unnecessary, and they've come back to bite him because those players didn't just get up and decide that they were moving for the sake of moving. They wanted to win things. Dame always thought that, you know what, I'm always going to be this healthy guy. I can always carry a team on my back. He suffered one really serious injury. I think it was last season, and then this season as well, missed significant time. And he's all of a sudden realized that he cannot do a lot of the heavy lifting again. And the pieces around him in Portland are rebuilding pieces. He's realized that he doesn't have 4 or 5 years on his hands anymore. And so he's trying to move. So the
But he can't see it.
Good, because he said things in the past. The truth now is that the Phoenix Suns have moved on Chris Paul. Apparently, they had an eye on Damian Lillard before making that move. Also, the Miami Heat have been chasing him forever. Yao Ming has been an advocate of this Damian Lillard to Miami for the longest time. It looks like it might just happen. But again, brilliant season. I think it was, according to the stats, it was the most watched playoffs in the last 5 years.
It's really
and
nice.
that's kind of crazy because a lot of people were...
We've seen the Warriors and Cavs.
A lot of people were talking about who wants to watch a Heat Nuggets final, but apparently people still love their pure basketball, and so that happened. I completely love that for them. Big breaking news coming through is that Ja Morant of the Memphis Grizzlies has been suspended 25 games. Now, the NBA Players Association are going to appeal the decision. They say it is excessive and it is unnecessary. So that's what's going on as far as basketball is concerned. We are off to October somewhere before the season starts again.
Late October usually.
Yeah, so hopefully by that time, more excitement in the NBA, but that's the little something on basketball. Let's get into some local sports. Let's talk about the just ended Ghana Premier League season. But you can send in your thoughts via text, WhatsApp, and Telegram 0549-986-996, 0549-986-996. You can also get to me on Twitter. Get to me at Kojon Ketia, and let's get talking. In Takwa, a place where I know very well, it was merrymaking, it was fun. Moses Ama Parker was happy. He and his coach Evans Adote say they can take on the mighty Al Ali. But guess what? They had only 26,000 USD to show for their efforts all season. All season, $26,000. I was telling somebody that when the boys around here cry, when we charge cry, we can put that money together. Ghana Premier League prize money, $26,000. I
don't even think that can get the first team to go and play their away match in Africa.
It cannot. It cannot. Rabbi.
Oh, no, we have done certain investigation. No, if you lay down the foundation,
then you build it.
I come to build a skyscraper.
And the rabbi says today Naim go build house.
Yes.
A builder.
This one is not a skyscraper. We are going to the heavens.
El Pichi. The Yellow and Mauves have won their title.
Oh, Benjamin.
But it looks like happiness is not in a lot of places.
Yeah.
This prize money thing has been an issue for a minute.
Exactly.
We are back at it again.
Well, let me get into it. I know Coach has a lot to say as well, but so $26,431. That's if you convert the 300,000 Ghana Citi prize money. Is what Mediama Sporting Club will get for winning the Ghana Premier League. And for me, it all boils down to priorities here. Ben, if you look at a football association, that had close to $9 million from the World Cup, a football association that has prided itself as what? Creating wealth for all. I think that if you are a club owner and you hear such amounts being given to the champion of the Ghana Premier League, you ask yourself what happened. And for me, I question the clubs for not raising any concern about this earlier. Because you guys are the clubs. You play the league yourself.
You mean the clubs should rise up against this money they are being given as prize money?
So as football clubs, what have they also done about such amount? I think that they knew how much they would take before the league started. I didn't see any huge worry from the clubs. And the major concern out there has been from the media and well-wishers. I think I'm yet to see or hear a club official raising huge concern about this amount. Now, look at how much it takes the clubs to play one football game. They are traveling, accommodation, feeding, and all that. And I can tell you, this amount is inadequate, woefully inadequate. So it's more like a Black Stars player.
It's gone up 50,000 from when Kotoko won it. They got 250,000. These people get 300,000.
See, a Black Stars player just needs to play 3 matches and he gets more than this. That's the winning bonus, not even the appearance fee. Because if they are giving 10K as a winning bonus, 3 matches, you get 30,000K, which is more than a football club gets at the end of a 34 league campaign.
That's just sad.
So
our priorities are all over the
one, it's all about the priorities. And clearly, I don't want to go hard on people, but clearly it tells us that as a nation, the Ghana Premier League is not the priority of those handling it.
You mean their premier product is not their priority?
No, Black Stars is the premier product. Let's make this.
Apologies.
Yeah,
Apologies.
the Black Stars is the premier product.
That's the mistake.
That doesn't belong to the FA.
That's the mistake
The
the
Black
FA is
Stars
making.
is for the people of Ghana. They don't own it. But they own
They own the league. Yeah.
That's the
But
mistake.
from
Because
how-
if you look at every other country, sorry to cut you, what do they care about? They focus on the league. They put effort into the league. They make sure the league is solid.
Exactly.
And when your league
Everything
is solid,
rolls out from
your
under that.
national team will also become so. Look at how the quality of players England is producing now that they have one of the best leagues in the world. Because their players are competing at a high level. So they are getting quality players. Look at France. Even France, their league is fairly strong. They are exporting players all over Europe.
Yep.
So the league has to be their priority.
Yep.
Then going on, I think that from where we sit, clearly, the Ghana Premier League is not a profitable league. And I sit here and I cry for the club owners. I cry for the various...
They are not crying for themselves.
They are crying. They are crying, Ben.
But
The
you
club
dare
owners are crying.
You
But just
mean-
that
you mean they're
outside
scared
the
of being
football
victimized?
field,
Are
you saying there's
the
a
club
culture of
owners are
silence?
crying.
saying you dare not show up your face.
You mean there's a culture of silence
I'm
in Ghana?
telling you.
I mean, Kojoyanka sort of buttressed your point last week
no,
when he said
the clubs-
he says there is no love among football people anymore.
Yes.
You see, and there's one person who was always complaining about this. That's Nana Ponsa, the Kotoko CEO. Over and over and over, he kept raising concerns about the prize money of the Ghana Premier
and
League.
he's been singled out as a bad nut.
Exactly.
Yes.
He kept raising concerns that, see, look at how our clubs fund themselves, if not for gate proceeds, which is even low at the moment. Is
The
the
quality is low, so no one wants to
good,
watch.
the sale of their paraphernalia. How many of us buy jerseys of late?
How
We
often
don't
you
do
see
that.
local jerseys in
You look
town?
at player sales. How many of our players even go abroad for better amounts?
In fact, someone sent me a kind of graphic about how Ghanaian players moving. I think at the 7th most in the world or something like that. Yet, in terms of cumulative transfer fees, we are far below
far.
countries. I'll find the
See,
thing and I'll kind of...
We are selling players for $5,000,
I'll look for the
$10,000.
data.
Look
and I'll
at
bring
all
it up.
this, and I think that I feel bad and I hate for our club owners. They are bleeding. But let me focus more on the referees. That's where my research went into.
Thank you.
Now, from what I understand, a referee is paid 1,000 Ghana cedis flat, that's after tax, for every Premier League game they officiate.
1,000 cedis.
1,000 cedis.
Alright.
That's how much a referee gets. So, alongside your 2 officials, that's your linesmen and then the fourth
Then there's a
referee,
fourth official.
it's a 4,000 Ghana cedi package for all of you. And this 4,000 Ghana cedis, when you travel, your TNT, your feeding, and then your accommodation is all part of the 1,000 Ghana cedis. So wherever you are going, make sure your expenditure does not go above the 1,000 Ghana cedis. And also, you have to pre-finance your trip. When you come back and then you submit your match report, and then the GFA pays you after every 5 match weeks. So at the moment,
there was supposed to be an arrangement with STC for this.
Yes, so that's
I think there's a
50% subsidy for the referee. So if you're going to Kumasi, it's 100 Ghana cedis. You pay just 50 Ghana cedis. So that's
and they have their own mechanism to, for example, so which means that conversations have been had between the FA
and the STC,
so that they know who is a referee, and so they apply that discount.
Okay, so just to the transfer fee thing I was mentioning. Yeah. So according to this, for the year in question, we sold 515 Ghanaian players moved all over the world. So that was ranked 8th of all nations. And the total transfer fees recorded was 17.4 million, which ranked 42nd. So that's a big part of the problem. Okay. There's no quality back. Continue, PG.
Very terrible statistics there. So you look at the issue here with our referees. I know we normally complain about, our referees are poor and all that. See, Ben, how often can you pre-finance your own trip when you have to cough 1,000 Ghana cedis
every time you are
slated for a game? Now, someone will say that that's what it is done in the international matches as well. Yes, but here you are. If CAF gives you a game, your accommodation is sorted by CAF before you leave the country. Your air ticket is paid already. Your food, your chauffeur, and everything is sorted out. Yours is just go official the game. You come back, you submit your match report, and then CAF pays you for your refereeing fee. But here in Ghana, you have to pre-finance everything. And I tell you, it's not been easy for our referees. So when we sit here...
Is that part of the reason why we've seen complaints about officiating all season?
We'll complain till things get better. Because some of the referees, I'm told, don't find it easy getting to the match venues. And this is a recipe for compromise.
We've said this over
This
over
is a simple recipe for compromise. Because if you have to cough 1,000 Ghana cedis and you have to go and borrow.
Somebody says, I'll give you 5,000 to come to the game. Only you 5,000.
Do this for me. Maybe take one penalty. You'll do this. It's just than that. But I think that there's a solution to this. Now, we've seen clearly that the GFA is not doing much for the referees.
They can go into close to 6 months arrears. Sometimes almost a year.
And I ask myself, as a government, we know how the government prides itself when our clubs do well in Africa. We know how the government prides itself when things go well. Right? What has the government also done to help this league? That's my biggest concern. What has this government also done to support our league? What negotiations have they also held or conversations with the GFA to tell them that the GFA, the league is going terrible? What can we do to help you guys? I think they've held some stakeholders meeting about attendance and all that, but they are not implementing anything here. Now we've seen the prize money. No one is talking about it. I think they are waiting for things to get terrible when there's empty,
things are already terrible. House of Folk can play a game and there are like 41 fans in the stands.
Maybe they've not seen that yet.
It doesn't get worse than that.
I think that going forward, some of the things we can do is to offer tax rebates for companies to take care of the referees. We need to make sure we lure companies to come on board and help get more finance into our Ghana Premier League. At the moment, people raise concern. Kurt is this, Kurt is this. See,
I disagree with that.
In the eyes of Kurt, the GPL is alive.
Yeah. He said it. He says Ghana football is very much
alive.
alive.
So
he said the season has exceeded his expectations.
Exactly. So if the overall boss...
Oh, yes, he did.
Yes, there's a clip to that. If the overall boss sees this league as alive, our listeners at home listening to us, they follow the league. Is this Ghana Premier League alive?
Heart of Folk fans, is this league alive?
I want to respond to something she said about the...
Let's just make a quick one.
I just want to respond to the thing said about the companies. See, this is something that we do a lot in this country. The poor are supposed to manage it, probably mismanage it. Then we go and ask the private sector to come and fix it. That's not what we need to do. Just run the thing properly. Don't come and call companies, do this, do that. I understand why she's saying that, because we're in a desperate
because clearly
situation.
the FA has shown that they can't manage it.
Exactly. We need solutions to make this league better.
But we need to hold them accountable. Calling Port come and fix it is not holding them accountable. It's letting them get away scot-free. For me, that's my issue.
We are here. We speak about the league every day. What have they done to better it? It's like they don't care about it.
No, but that's kind of what he's saying. I mean, if you bring outsiders to fix it, then they'll go and sleep on it.
They will even sleep even more. You get what I'm saying?
that.
We do this all the time
Yeah.
with just as a country, state-owned enterprises. The
Yeah.
states run something. They put in charge. They are corrupt. They are not doing their job. Then we go and sell it to some big businessman. He comes and does it, and it's not even a business that's how to make a profit. It's just that we haven't even put the effort in making the profits, and we are going to do the same to our football.
But for me, I think it's high time the government intervenes now, because
You mean our league needs government intervention?
yes,
at
at the
FIFA will
moment,
ban
yeah.
us.
Point well made. Point well made.
No more. Kaganyoke. Agbo aye. Do you understand that?
Explain it to me.
No more netankwa.
Go ahead.
On agbonyo ni yeninda.
You mean dead people don't eat?
Yes, I would rather die and be buried than to be a living dead.
You mean the Ghana Premier League now, it's living dead?
Life support.
Not okay. I would rather die for you and my colleagues here to come for my funeral.
Yeah.
So that my soul
Is at
will
rest.
rest in peace than to be
alive
alive and dead.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
No more. Ket says what? This league
Has exceeded his
expectation and indeed is alive. That is the level of mediocrity at its topmost best. Look, Media Bill takes home how much?
26.
300,000 Ghana Cedi.
Yeah.
Goodness me.
500
for
old Ghana
heaven-
Cedi.
look, for
500 million
heaven's
more than
sake.
last season. Yeah.
For heaven's sake, look, you should be very much ashamed of yourself.
I can barely buy a star Ghana Premier League player.
What?
You can't even buy a star Ghana Premier League player
With that money. The Bechem boy that has been called
Hafiz
to
Konkoni.
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 Do you think Bechem will accept $26,000 for him? Over their dead body. Even their dead body will never accept that. Look, this league is dead. And to those listening to this program, Pichichi spoke about government intervention. Government will not intervene. Because why should government intervene? If the managers of our league are so satisfied, if you go and play that tape to government and you have the FA chairman, the FA president saying that this league has gone beyond expectation, why should you intervene if you're a government?
No, financially, it's not rewarding.
No, but you are not the bona fide owners of the commodity. The one who owns the commodity says the league is alive, it's gone beyond expectation, and our football is alive. If I'm a government, if I'm a president, or if I'm the one in charge, I play that out and say, young man, you don't need help here. Because you see, if you look at and you listen to that audio, when the president of the Ghana Football Association was speaking, you don't only listen to the audio, but you look at the jabs that came along with his statement.
You mean he's always...
The oral around him.
There are always undertones in his statement.
Exactly. To say that, look, this release expected this euphoria. It's gone beyond our expectation. He's alive and we've enjoyed it. Look at what is happening here. Hey? Are you serious?
You mean, hey?
Look, $26,000. When we qualified to the World Cup, so close to $9 million. I have said it here. When it comes to preparing the budget for any of our national teams, it is the Ghana Football Association who does that.
Yep.
And you dare not do that without the input of the president of the FA. You dare not.
True.
With the ESCO, they sit together with the general secretary and everybody, and they think through these things. So, of the $9 million, they couldn't tell government that could we put aside $1 million out of the 9 to sponsor our Ghana Premier League for the next 5 years.
Oh.
You know, in a common sense, this is so common. But rather, they could budget.
Coach, even 100,000, the 100,000 you always
Look,
talk about.
I'm telling you,
Even that would have done wonders
Look,
for Mediama going to
they
Africa.
could budget that every management member who did not kick a ball in less than 3 weeks should be given $100,000 as appearance fee, management member. But they didn't have the foresight.
Remember the Jamepe Commission spoke against this.
Spoke against this. They didn't have the foresight. Look, the referees that number 12.
Yeah.
If there was anything we all learned from that number 12 thing, is the fact that our referee at the time were very compromised.
And you don't have to put them in that position.
You don't have to put them in that position again. Look at the level of officiating we saw in the just ended season. So if you accumulate the total amount of money needed for the referees to officiate our season, the whole season, the total number of games, without their pre-financing, but you saying there's cash down, no more, a share 105,000. It is not even up to $105,000.
Okay, so this is it. So which means that on a match day, you are paying one referee 1,000.
Yes.
Two assistants, so that's 3,000. And
Fourth
then what? The
official.
fourth official.
So
So that's 4,000 on a match day times
9.
matches.
Let's say there are 9
So that's
games.
36,000 every match week.
Yes.
Times 34 weeks.
Multiply. Convert to dollars. It is not even up to $110,000.
That's
If 100,000 is almost 12 Ghana, $1 is 12 Ghana cedi. That is not even up to 110,000 Ghana cedi.
yeah, that's $108,318.
Thank you, Pitch.
Can you imagine? But you could sit there and say that amount of money should be given to a management member. You don't respect the league. This is your bona fide property. You do nothing to make it better. Absolutely nothing. If you cannot market your own commodity with money at hand, they've given you the money. That aside, though, we've had a headline sponsor.
You know what I'd love the most? I feel like typically they wouldn't do these things because it might hurt their commercial business, but I would love the sponsors of the league to one day speak about the product that they are sponsoring.
They won't do
on
it.
how
Whether or not they are
because
they are getting value for the
You
money
see,
that they put in.
with all the knowledge you claim to have in football, you could sit down and sign a contract with a headline sponsor that says that 1 million of that sponsorship package is for publicity, and the sponsor will go and do the publicity on your behalf. What? Even a kindergarten student, my 4-year-old daughter, Odelia, will never sign this. She will never sign this.
So it reminds me of something my thesis
no.
supervisor told me when I was writing
Yes.
my master's. There was a particular chapter I wrote something in, and his comments, shout out to Professor Vladimir Chidans, whoever he is. He says, my 8-year-old daughter.
Of course, now. Of course. No, but why would you say that? I have a commodity to market. You have seen the need
To put your
to
money
put the money in there. Now, when I say the money you give me to who could better market
the
the
product than you, the owner of the
Oh
product.
my goodness. No more. But
Coach, let me just ask you one question though. Again, you said something about team owners not being happy, but again,
they're not happy.
not being able to speak up. Then, in my opinion, they are a big part of the problem.
You see, there will always be when the system is all about victimizing and tarnishing their image. Nana Yamponsa has been speaking about this.
He has.
What is the tag on him now? What is the tag on the young man? He's never been comfortable. He's been tagged as somebody who is directly antagonistic to whatever the FA will do. Look, this league is dead. Mr. President of the Ghana Football Association, look at our pitches. Do you know how much you could have asked government? So you see, Pichichi, just before he comes, for government to get involved, what proposal have they submitted to government?
What should government stand on to say
To
that
say, yes,
we are
it's there.
giving you support?
Yes. Government sees the need to sponsor or to give some support to our teams when they qualify to Africa.
Yeah,
They've been doing that.
yeah, they have.
So if there's a $9 million package coming, and those teams that prepared the Daniel Amate, all the players, they all went through our course football and everything.
In all honesty, you know one of the things that beats my mind the most. I feel like, again, you always harp on this World Cup money we keep collecting, right? We literally have nothing to show.
For it.
I feel like the World Cup money is treated like, okay, it is money for the FA.
For us to chop.
So when it comes, I don't even know if it is to chop. I even can't say that.
No, it's to chop.
It's to chop.
If we've not seen anything, it's to chop.
It's to chop. Where has the money gone to?
Man.
But choppement.
Because if you see what other countries are doing with
That's
the
even
monies that come into their
know, that's what annoys me so much about these things. You look at other countries, but their FA doesn't take any money from the government.
Not at all.
Self-funded. They're able to run a league.
Even
make
when,
profits of
guys,
the league.
even
do
when,
a national
even
team.
when,
and
even
just,
when,
it's a cycle.
even when in other places, even when government jumps in, what government is doing one of two things.
That's it.
Probably
Either-
infrastructure.
Yes, so building infrastructure and ensuring that that's the first step, of the policy. So you build the infrastructure. The other thing most governments will do is to create the environment
Exactly.
so that people in football can work freely.
Yes.
People can work easily. If somebody wants to invest in football, there's a certain reason for him to do it.
Do so.
You understand? But we haven't done that kind of.
You see. So if you people are working like this, why should government get involved? Look at what they could have done, or you would have done, or I would have done. Simple. Okay, of the $9 million, you write
They
to
said
government.
5 billion for the budget for the national team. So let's just say there's 4
4
million,
million
left.
Please, can we set aside $1 million
only.
as a sponsorship package for our league for the next 5 years? Add the one that the sponsors, the headline sponsors have brought. You add it to it. Mediama will not be taking home $26,000.
I think the minimum for our league, like worst
No,
case,
150.
100,000. Even 100. Let's even say
No,
baseline
look, the
100,000.
worst case 150. I'm telling you, 150.
Because even that's peanuts.
That's peanuts.
We have to be the reason.
That is one Mediama African trip.
Yeah, that's what I'm
That is
that's what I was
one
about
trip.
to say. Tickets are
150,000.
expensive.
It's one Mediama going to let's say Tanzania
And coming back.
and coming back. 150 Asia.
A ticket's about, let's say, $2,000. So if a ticket is $2,000, just to take your 22 players, that's 44.
Plus-
Yes,
that's
no
44.
accommodation don't come
Yeah,
yet.
that's just the tickets, 44,000.
Coaching
So-
staff, medical
yeah,
staff.
So that 100,000, the
It's
fact
just one game amount. And then you have a president laughing, smiling, overjoyed, overpleased. The game is alive. Look, pneumonia jale.
You mean they should stop the gimmicks?
What is that? The concert of your I'm saying that.
I just think, again, I think you've literally hit all the right notes. I just think that, look, we need to have a serious rethink of our league. I'll just say a few things before we move on from this
I
topic.
just wanted to
Just-
point out
yeah,
the cultural side. I think you were hinting at it, that the team's not talking. You see, for me, there's some of them who are complicit. That's why they don't want to talk. Because there's no way that.
No, there's that.
There's
There's
no
clearly
way
that.
that if all
Hassan
8,
Kotoko alone, they can talk.
there's no way that if all 18 teams or even 15 teams spoke against this, what can the GFA do? Can they victimize all 15 teams? So clearly, there's a few people there.
You won't get all the 15 teams talking about it.
At least a majority.
You will get, how many are the teams? 18 now.
18, yeah.
18.
You may get like 10,
Who want to see?
and the other 9
No, but
not
Chris,
ready to speak.
Chris, it doesn't
If
matter.
you speak and you speak against, no, but the next moment you'll be relegated. I'm
Chris,
telling you.
Chris, it
They will
doesn't-
tell the referees to go and officiate your games and make sure
the
that
point,
you lose.
you see,
That's what they do.
If we had a functioning system and an environment, the league as an entity should be able to review its own self
That's right. Sort of way
and have a very frank and open conversation. Of course, somebody will say that
Isn't
comes
that what they
with-
do at these
I'm
congresses?
coming.
Oh,
Some
yeah,
will
yeah.
say, you see, so we talk about all of these things. One way of curing is if maybe, of course, I think they are working towards an autonomous league or whatever it is.
At the moment, it's difficult for some of the clubs to get the money because you need a seed capital to be part of this autonomous.
Great.
league,
So
yeah.
so that is why, for example, you'd have entities like the government coming in, right? So the government can set policy and create the environment for football to thrive. So the very first thing maybe the government can do is infrastructure. For example, we know in African countries where the league is not played all across those countries, there are 5 or 6 proper
I was
grounds,
just about to say this.
and then you hold
But
the,
we will act like we are doing club licensing when the season is about to start.
You understand?
And then there's the same pitches that have been barred over the last 5 years. they will okay the pitches again and say, oh, we've given them 2 months to be able to rectify these problems. We'll come back in 2 months.
2 months.
Guess what?
It will be worse off.
The team will finish the season at that poor playing ground. They don't have a anti-doping center. They don't have a proper parking lot.
They don't have running water.
They don't have Charlie, what is this? What?
And the man says it's alive.
Let's not even talk about the features. Let's talk about the basics. Running water, seats that you can sit on. Like you look at some
a
like
proper
this.
scoreboard.
No,
Like those are like the basics.
No,
of
sometimes
running water.
Every time I've gone to like,
washrooms.
look, and then if you go to Elwak Gitera Sports Stadium, it's so embarrassing. You go and sit there and you're thinking that this is supposed to be a high level.
This is our top
And look, something is going on that this program and other programs on radio will have to begin to push the FA. Look, we are voting in October. They have to bring out the roadmap. What some of us are hearing. Look, nobody will postpone this election because the Black Stars has a tournament to play in January. It will not happen. Because in previous years, these were the things that happened that made somebody stayed
almost 13 years.
Almost 13 years. It will, look, our football will move on.
I really remember
from such obsolete, archaic way of doing things.
It's like one of the most basic things.
Look, we are in June, July, August, September. The election is supposed to be in October.
Yeah. I think that's the next.
Mr. General Secretary, Mr. FA President, the ESCO members, why are you not bringing out the roadmap?
We'll take this up because I feel
it is very serious.
I think we need to start asking club owners about the roadmap to the
next election
because, like Coach is saying, there are obviously rules to when these things must be released.
Must be revealed.
When
the time limit is long overdue. The president goes on SuperSport. When he's asked, he said he doesn't know whether there's going to be an election in Ghana football this year. Are you serious?
Rubbish. Absolutely rubbish.
You see,
he said that.
Because like the rumors say, he's harboring plans of going unopposed.
You see, look, Ben, whatever it is, there is an association.
What?
The association functions on rules. You understand? The Ghana Bar Association, the Teachers Association,
the Medical Association,
they have rules. So the GFA as an association, it has rules that says that we are supposed to have an election at a certain time. If things are changing or things are going to be altered, it makes sense that they have a conversation as a Congress and as a body to decide that, okay, based on A, B, C, and D, we are changing the rules. But with 4 months to go, this is not... You see, by this time, you should have had a clear roadmap.
There should be a clear roadmap.
Campaign starts, submit your form, do this. And are we not seeing the political party?
We're seeing it. And you see, what makes it even more daring, when the incumbent open his mouth wide and say that he doesn't know whether there will be an election. How can you say that?
We'll have to do better, Ben.
That is the level of disrespect to the entire association.
But then, look, going back to the main topic on prize money, we have to ask ourselves that, okay, so how much was on the table when Bet Power decided to sponsor the league? What was the allocation for prize money?
Oh, you are.
You get my point. So
yes.
We do know that if you win the Champions, there's a certain amount you get. It's set. If you win the World Cup, there's a certain amount. If you win the Premier,
well, maybe Bet Power did not take up prize money.
Okay,
it's possible.
So that has to come from the
that
FA.
In their contract,
great.
They didn't take up prize
now
money.
that's okay. Maybe it's the FA's money. We don't know. But whatever it is, let us ask ourselves: $26,000. What will it do? It's not much.
So a quick one on that. So 1 million of their 2 million every season goes into promotion and marketing. And then the other 1 million, there's part that goes into the locker room bonus. And then the rest was shared for the various clubs.
We know that. So everybody got some amount of
and the amount of money, and the amount of
prize money. This prize money,
please, the amount of money that the clubs are sharing is far less.
Yeah.
Than the $1 million that Bet Power is using for
promotion and marketing.
What is this?
We'll get into that. The question
promotion and marketing, we've not seen anything.
Clearly, there's a big problem there. I'm saying that, you see, if we had been doing our things well as a country, away from the prize money which comes from the FA or sponsor, the other way you can raise money is through TV. So if you had a proper TV deal,
there you go.
You'd make money.
There you go now.
26.
But you see, this Star Times deal, I have to be honest, it's very bad.
That's what I'm saying. I was coming to that point. But because the Star Times deal is the way it is, how much money are these teams even making? And we are asking a genuine question. We wish the FA would tell all of us how much each team made from TV
you and
money.
I know that Star Time only won this deal because Ketu Kreku was one of those who brought Star Time.
Whatever it is, Chris.
That is the fact.
But the point is that even if you are
That is the fact.
it has to benefit the entire league.
He doesn't care.
No, because this Start Times
benefit
thing,
the
you
entire
have to
league.
go and buy a specific box to watch the league. How many people want to make that investment to buy the box?
Nationwide.
And the truth is,
They have to do.
the fact
If it's on phone, you have to do maybe a game by game or
see,
something.
whatever.
Or-
People
my
are
whole
paying
thing, my
for
whole
the
thing,
app.
my whole thing is
All
that
I'm asking is
even
that-
those-
Are teams in the league making any money from the Star Times deal?
Good question.
If yes, there may be a part of that should be broken and also given to the
ultimate winner.
The ultimate winner. That everybody gets X amount. This is your share. But I think the bigger question we need to ask ourselves as a country, and maybe the FA needs to start thinking about, is what can they do to get in more sponsors, to get in money? Does it mean they need to speak to the government? Does it mean that the FA needs to clean up its act and be a bit more presentable to corporate bodies? Because I'll tell you, I had a chat with somebody who works in a leading bank in Ghana about 5-6 years ago. This was 2015, 8 years ago. The person told me something. Now, this said institution, they sponsor a league in another country in Africa. I asked him that, but why are you in that country and you are not in Ghana? And he says, listen, it's a business decision. When we put our money in that country, it makes more sense because when we get value, we get value for money. But when they analyze our product here, they don't seem to think there's enough value. This was 8 years ago. The conversation may have changed. But the point I'm making is this. We need to do more to get more money into the league because you cannot play 34 weeks and in the end get money that cannot take you to play a CAF Champions League game and back. No. Look, we are not saying that the FA should shoulder the burden and be dishing out money to clubs. If they did that, it would be fine. But the point is, when you play a 34-week season, and in the end, the winner is going to rep all of us at the CAF Champions League level, the prize money should make sense. The prize money should make so much sense so that the players, when you break it down into smaller parts, players can look at it and say, this is what I got for winning the
Can you
league.
imagine they're getting $800 a week for winning the league? I mean, when you put it like that,
in other countries, go to Nigeria. Somebody will argue, yeah, but the point is that, look, there's this thing, Samen says all the time. If you are doing something in Ghana, right, or the Nigerians are getting something right, and you are not, then some way. In Nigeria, the league winner is taking $250,000, and I stand to be corrected.
And I'm even sure that they are not even happy with that.
They are
one.
not even happy.
I'm sure they are not even happy with 250,000.
So we have to do better.
Have you seen the medal given to Media Man this time around?
Oh, but to be honest, I thought the medal
better.
looked. I thought the medal looked nice.
that one
I thought they
was
looked
much
really
better.
nice.
No, but it
Really
came
nice.
after many Ghanaians complained.
At least
I won't make
at
any
least-
comments on them.
at
I have
least
my own
on that score,
reservations.
we give them props.
Don't transform my way.
the point is that
invading.
there are
That's why I
bigger-
just asked the question.
There are bigger things to worry about. It should concern the FA that the league winner in Ghana is getting less than $50,000. Even that it is not enough. We need to get this product to a point where it sells itself brilliantly. So a lot of money comes in. I don't know how far the conversations have gone with the autonomous league, but we need to start looking at the Ghana Premier League as a proper product that has to be sold and marketed well. It is because we are not selling it well. That is why we are getting what we are getting. It is because we go and put together all kinds of funny arrangements and teams are not benefiting. Games are on Star Times, and yet we don't know how much money teams are even making.
Guess what? The Tanzania Premier League winner gets 220.
No more.
Tanzania. oh.
You should.
You see, I can
We
tell you-
should bow our heads down in
I
shame.
can tell you on authority that
This is alive.
Yanga and Simba are bigger clubs now than Hearts of Oak and Kotoko.
Definitely.
Like,
by far.
It's
By
not even,
far.
it's not even a
There's-
debate.
It's not out for any debate.
I mean,
And then you said this is alive. That is mediocrity.
I just want to talk about
Mediocre.
this Star Times thing again.
wrap up and let's
If
go.
you want interest in the league should be available. It's the simplest thing. We have games on Saturday and Sunday. I stand to be corrected. There's definitely games
Even
on both days.
now, even games on Fridays.
Yeah, at least one game each day. Free
National
to air.
television.
National television. At least one game. National television. Once you do that, at least the league is there for people to watch.
Even if-
It's in their
I
mind.
was told there's one game on Max TV. So
Max TV is not national.
You see, it is good. There's a game on Max TV.
All the channels should be available to take that same
yes,
game.
People, there should be, spread it across. You can get GTV to air one game a week. Everybody has access to that.
I think if that one game, they give everybody the option to air it, it's different. So every TV station can say they want to use their time to air it. If they don't want to, that's fine.
But make
But
it available.
that's all we are saying.
The point, people, look, the COVID or post-COVID, has taught us that once there's a product to sell, there are people to buy.
Of course.
And we saw the attendances. We saw how many people went in there.
We always talk
We're
about
begging the government.
Olympics game that was becoming a fight.
I'm getting some good info. I'm getting some info that clubs are due or are supposed to get $30,000 as TV prize money.
Okay.
That's more than the prize money.
That's more than if that is
when?
No. That's what they are supposed to get.
This is common in a lot of leagues that the TV money is more than the
That's
prize
great.
money. That
Okay,
one is fine.
Good. So that's fine. So the question I'll ask is that one, are the clubs getting that kind of
We'll
money?
find out. Don't worry.
We'll have to find out. But if there's $30,000 available for clubs to pick up, that is good. But the point I'm making is this: the FA needs to sell the league and sell it better.
No more. Look,
They
when
need to do a
see
better
money,
job.
When they see money, Oloni JJT.
And I'm told that the clubs get the money
No more.
promptly.
That's
That's fine.
Oloni Beshi.
Eh,
Beshi, kek Beshi bomb me. Kona shikani Beshi. Yi ono. O yishiki mo kafugbe. Beshi kafugbe.
The Ghana Premier League. Charlie, listen, I don't know about you guys, man, but I feel like every season my interest in the Ghana Premier League drops another level.
Bad officiating, bad stadium,
Bad pitches.
everything bad.
Quality of football.
Bad.
So we need to keep talking about it. It will get better.
I hope it gets better because this is all we have. This is ours. Others are making theirs
Look,
better.
I can
taking
offer
our
them
fair.
simple. Come and see me.
Thank you.
I will write a proper proposal to the minister, to His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa
good.
Akufo-Addo.
Talking about that.
Why
They should support.
they
it.
should
Look,
support
talking
them.
about that, I happened to be in a very interesting conversation
So you
today.
see, government must intervene.
Of course,
No, but you have to.
government must, but you see,
Government must on grounds that you
have
don't
to-
tell government to give one person $100,000 to go and
you have to make a justification. And I was in a conversation today where there is a plan to present a certain argument to the government to say that this is what sports contributes to this country's economy, but it will require, I think it's a great idea, fabulous idea. I think what it will require is a proper quantification, of course, of what sports does. So the economy. So if you could get good numbers,
Break down the numbers.
you could say, for
Ghana
example,
Premier League, we bring
Yes.
X money into the country.
players are bringing in X money from transfers, X money from remittances,
X taxes.
directly, indirectly, taxes. Now, if you can take that point and send it to, so we can probably say, give it to the sports minister, and he can make a case at cabinet and say that, Mr. President, every year we are getting 40 million.
500
I'm coming.
and something
I'm coming.
players. We get this.
We are getting 40 million from the national budget. But Mr. President, if you could give us 10 times that amount or 5 times that amount, this is what sport is contributing.
We can multiply this.
So
money.
I feel that the challenge we are suffering is that one, there are two challenges we are suffering. One, the country's mindset already to sport is off. And I cite that, and I'll draw certain examples. Ben, look at our attitude towards sports. In schools, now sports is being ruled out of the calendar,
Yeah,
right?
cutting it out.
We are doing intercore once every 2 years. once
Before
every
it was
3
bad,
years.
it was treated as recreation. Now they are cutting it
They
out.
are cutting
completely.
it out completely. That is one. Two, look at people's perception of sports people. All of us here, all of us, I'm sure we've had one
Suffer
relative
some
or
disrespect on
somebody
the other.
look at you and say, why are you even a sports journalist? I had a lecturer of mine who met me at a function and said, Mr. Kwao, you are wasting your time being a sports journalist. You should be vying to be deputy minister or something.
Imagine.
So the country's own mindset about sports is even off from the onset.
Completely.
Now, even if the country is thinking about sports, we don't think it's important enough for it to get a lot of money. So I feel that if really things must improve, yes, government must come in, but the football republic or the sporting republic must make a conscious argument.
Now, good day. That is where the issue is.
You see,
as for government, whoever
if you
is
make your argument,
no more.
give you the money.
do it.
We have to make the Football Republic and the Sporting Republic has to make the argument.
No,
But you see, beneath that level, the Football Republic has to do its work.
yes.
You need to ensure that
you don't
things
want
are
government
on
to
point.
interfere in certain things. But if you want government to come to your aid, you need to be very transparent about certain things.
Thank you. Let me get to my message box. Lots coming in. This is there's happiness in a bottle. Nisha Tommy, I think that's what you're trying to say. Is it from East Legon Hills Estate? East Legon Hills Estate. Hey, Charlie, which please be that? Charlie, guys, does anybody know?
I'll be too many.
At shock.
The hills be plenty.
Everywhere hills did it, Charlie. So you guys know anybody who wants to sign players and arrange a team more than Florentino Perez? Charlie, world best. Please tell my coach the Jalabia is ready.
Oh no more. No, never have different colors. When I can wear green, or blue, mauve, can it be very yummy?
Godwin Darlington says that good evening to the baddest sports crew on the planet. I want all Barca fans to run away. Because Los Blancos team is left with our cherry on top. KM7.
This will be KM10 because Vinicius has gone to wear the 7, so it's KM10.
It says KM7, then our midfield is set for a decade. Hala Madrid. Oh, don't. If you do this, you will be expelled from the show. You are a Barca fan. Behave yourself over there when we are talking about Madrid.
When I play, he may on low. Barcelona, he may on low.
Calculations FC.
Spurs have sent back Lenglet and co.
Calculations FC. Every time you want to buy a new player, say, and we must move this contract.
Lever FC.
And
Then they move levers.
Ring the bell.
Engineering FC, moving levers and switches.
The point is
Barcelona,
that Barca's finances are in a terrible place.
but no, Gabida.
And the La Liga salary cap has destroyed
you know what I hate about Barca right now? They've not changed their taste, though.
Dabi.
They've not changed their taste. You were used to eating caviar and sushi.
Imagine say you become unemployed and you say you want to chop KFC every day.
It shocked me.
Mad.
You're unemployed, you still want to eat caviar and sushi.
Even employees at Barca are suffering. This month, Barca TV is getting cut.
So Pichichi like you're a sports journalist in Spain, you're unemployed.
It was one of the reasons.
Like you're a sports journalist in Spain, they sacked you.
It was one of the reasons why Messi did not even contemplate going
said that,
back.
yes.
Because he knew that there were massaging figures in the back.
He said that he can't be the cause of someone losing their money.
Jobs.
See?
Better days ahead. That's what I was saying.
Calculations FC.
So if you had a friend like Barca, you don't even want to be near them because it means that they'll come to you for money soon.
Every time. What kind of team is this? Let me go on a divine form. Just sit back and enjoy what is happening in Madrid. Stop hating. This one here says, Ben, since Man City won the Champions League, I want to know if Liverpool will be playing Champions League preliminary stage. There's nothing like that.
No, you don't get an extra place for someone winning. They thought because City won, the EPL will get another slot.
Europa.
William from US, I don't know if that's the United States, says, Ben, this Denver team has a really young core that has grown together. Good news for the Arsenal fans. Let the young boys play and get better today. But who is the best player now? Joker, Giannis, or KD? Joker.
KD is not past, but I won't say it's between Giannis and Jokic. I won't say it's between the two.
Good argument. Kobe Jones from La says that good evening, guys. I can't just fathom how the likes of Pulisic, Ziyech are on Chelsea's transfer release list and Baba Rahman isn't. Charlie,
Champion Baba Rahman.
No, he says, Charlie, it seems the Game Changers agency is really holding Baba down. For the GPO prize money, dear. Niga one resonates Niga League. Baba Rahman, see, whoever brokered the Baba Rahman contract said, oh, yeah, hard guy. I was just telling the guys, he signed an initial 5-year deal, and then he signed an extension, and then he was loaned out again. So his contract will end at the end of next season. Until then, Baba is eating good. Baba is eating good. Yeah, Charlie, you probably...
No one can take it away from him that he played for Chelsea Football Club for 7 years.
Oh, yes.
It's there.
I kind of feel sad for Baba Rahman again, but that's a story for another day.
Let me get to sad.
Oh, I mean, when he was hitting that, when he was eventually joining
Chelsea,
we all know how talented he was back in the day. And then
if I had his money, I'll never be sad.
Yeah, the injuries struck, and then everything kind of went south. But hey, let me get more messages. This one here is from Desmond from Tema. It says, Ben, be careful on the show. You wanted to prevent the rabbi's prayers?
A shock.
Most especially, me love the show because of Numo's prayers. Congrats in advance to the Black Stars on Sunday. He said, I love the show. Say, me love the show.
Me love you.
Don Shepherd from Shukura says, hi guys. Read this to coach. Eric Ten Hag, watching Arsenal, Chelsea and Man City make moves for Rice and Caicedo, while Bayern finalize the deal for priority centre-back target Kim Min-jae.
So,
all because the greedy Glazers are having fun with the United takeover.
no, Amaya.
We'll talk about that in a bit. This one here says, good evening, guys. I do not, and still can't understand the reason for the Glazer family keeping us in the darkness and deciding to make us live like yam and knife in our homes.
I have to stop you right there. Someone's business, they are deciding to sell and you are demanding updates. It doesn't make sense. If I'm selling my car.
No, guys, hold on.
But people are emotionally invested.
I don't understand the analogy. Say,
Like
living
yam and knife. I don't understand.
It be what? Coach, it be what?
How do you mean by like you are living like
No, see,
yam and knife?
you must send another message.
Please send us
Clarify this one.
Yeah.
Because if someone is selling their car, you go and demand an update on their car being sold.
He said, person who is prone to endless monologuing derived from the practice of speaking until the listener's eyes glaze over.
Hey.
A glazier, ugly container in the beautiful city of Kadeshi,
Inside
inside the
Nathan
Tankwa Street,
Yeah, I know
Kadeshi.
that, I know.
Nah, this guy's on one. Adam
guy,
from
hard guy.
Dome says, hi everyone, please a correction. Spolstra was not coach.
Yeah,
of
he
Man
was
United.
that. He was that.
Was
Spolstra was one of the assistants.
Assistants, yes.
Yeah,
It was
Pat
assistant.
Riley,
It was
Pat
Pat who
Riley,
won, actually
Pat
won that final. It'd be true. Yes, this one says, this is from Michelle Camp. What's his name? Adam. Stuck in the Michelle Camp traffic, okay?
He's
Is it-
Evans.
Evans listening
Evans.
with his G, Edem, and they are stuck.
And the boys, they do things. We say, I was wondering why Coach Nimley wasn't given the opportunity to talk about NBA playoffs as well. You see, Coach, like he said, did you listen to the prayer? He said, those who like to talk about sports that are played with the hands, let them have their turn. When it is done, those of us who speak about sports with the legs will have our turn. Ironically, Coach did some time in the US. He says he never really understood the part of...
The coach said that when his brother, when his brother's family are watching the American football and basketball, he will just go to some corner and do something else. He's not interested.
This one here coming in from Lion Payola from Sakomono. Charlie, big ups to my SK people. Please don't forget to allow Nathan to dissect the transfer of Messi from PSG to Inter Miami. You promised us last week. I think so. The time.
I will say the time.
Yeah. I think we can do that when the transfer window opens properly.
But they've also not finalized.
They've also not finalized.
So there's a lot
for a lot of people. The thing I'll say is that on the MLS side, yes, but the MLS. So this is how the MLS works. The league pays the players.
Yeah.
So you get a license, you play in the league, but the league pays the players. So they'll sit down and need to work out the money involved so it doesn't destabilize things. So yes, it's done, but they need to work out the money part and then everything will come together.
He has some Apple money in the mix as well.
Yes,
so there's all
Apple
that
money and
in the
all of that.
Lipo Mama. He says, good evening, my Sports Panorama crew. So is Klopp still at post next season against Chelsea?
He's there.
Please tell coach to tell the oil people to buy Liverpool too. Now
There's only one team attorneys by.
I would love some oil money as my club because what is all this? This one here is from Oheneba Yeboah Kodie from Coventry in the UK. He says, how can individuals at the FA allegedly receive 100k USD from the World Cup, but the whole team receives 26k? What? This is very disappointing. Even the money they budget for advertising the GPL self is more than the prize money. Yehovah Zebaoth. So that's how he ended his message to this guy. Lee Tojo from Thelma Newtown says, our country does not value sports and recreation. Nathan said that it's clear. This one here says, what are Ghanaian clubs also doing to generate funds other than gate proceeds and selling of players? People think the league prize money is meant to cover the team's expense for the season.
No.
In the EPL, their prize money doesn't cover the money they spend on player transfers. For
Yes,
the
they
clubs
also get
generate income
they
from other
also get
Get
TV
money.
revenue.
TV
TV
money.
revenue is
A
the
lot of-
big.
a lot
Actually,
of TV revenue.
TV is the biggest thing
Guys,
for those.
so the latest round of Premier League money that was in terms of international broadcast money, it was 5.7 billion pounds.
Imagine.
I think Man City for winning the league and all of that, they'll probably get like at least 250 million in TV money.
Solid.
At least.
This one here is from Yao from Spintex. He says, it's sad realizing the prize money for winning the GPL is woefully inadequate. Having GFA succeeded in scaring Ghanaians away from taking them on. Obo from Tamale says, we are here crying wolf for various team managers and bankrollers. Yes, when it's time to change that, they still vote to maintain the problem. Alvinio from Akosombo says, in Ketia, all football people decide to be bold and stand up to Ghana football. Until football people decide to be bold and stand up, Ghana football will continue to be a joke. Just in West Africa.
They are the ones in the league. So if they tell the FA that, see, we want better, I think it starts from them. If they make the case for wanting better, then we can see, something.
From DC says, good evening, big men. And they say the Ghana Premier League is better than the Nigerian, Togo, and the Zambians, etc. Okay. More messages. This one here is, in which way was the Ghana Premier League alive? Maybe Kurt was seeing something we are not seeing.
Of course.
Officiating, match attendance, performance of teams was below standard, and we cannot even compare ourselves to any league in Africa. I pray the GPL is privatized before we can see massive changes. Kwesi from Tema Community 4 with that one. Do keep your messages coming. Let's just touch on the Meteors. I feel like we've touched on them in previous weeks. I won't say a lot about them. The team was named Konigsdorfer, Sulemana, and I believe Nuama will join after the Black Stars game in Madagascar. They played against Egypt yesterday. They played out a draw. I think they have one more game, and then the tournament program.
I just want to mention, I just want to highlight a bit on something Frederick Achampong said. He said they were still talking to the clubs that Nuama, Konigsdorfer, and Kamal Dean. Am I right? Yeah. Said he was saying that they were still in discussions with the club or with their clubs over whether or not these players would be eligible.
No, but if they've not finished the conversation, you don't put their names out there.
That's
I
don't know. Is it that like the tournament is not approved? It's not.
No, you see, clubs are not mandated.
They are not mandated
to release their players for age and age.
For the age.
So you need to negotiate up to a certain level before you commit.
Exactly. Because at the moment they are in for the Black Stars game.
Yes, that was why they released.
Just please, the people doing some of the, we beg you. Charlie, maybe, yes, you are doing your best, but the point is, if you know you need these players, try and deal with their clubs early. Sort these issues out, because these are 3 quality players you have. Yeah. These are 3 quality players who can improve the team.
They can change the team.
They can change the dynamic of the team. But now, with a few weeks to go, this is not when we are still discussing.
Because look, one thing that clubs are so strict about, that when these boys are coming home, they are so strict. They are giving programs they are supposed to.
They don't want them to come back.
Monitor them from afar.
Especially when they are.
Of course.
Big investment.
Big event. He's still being paid.
And there's a big investment for whichever club.
And then he gets injured and all that. So you have to conclude these negotiations before you put their names out there that they are part of your setup.
Well, the Black Stars, which is the senior national team, they departed today to Madagascar. They play their game on Sundays at 2 p.m. We'll bring you live commentary of that game here.
It's a game they are expected to go and win.
Yeah.
No two ways about that.
Yeah. So Madagascar has dropped out of that game because of an injury. Apparently, he was nursing that injury with Auxerre, so they decided not to play him or not to risk him. Sure. So he's out of that.
A quick point on the Black Stars game. Obviously, we're expecting a better output than what they did against Angola. I feel that at the moment, Chris Hughton knows his boys better, and he has seen them play against Angola. So obviously, performance must improve. In their last 2 games, they scored 1 in Kumasi and then 1 also
we got 4
Luanda.
points, right?
Yeah, they got 4 points. So, but the scoring rate was 1-1. I think they need to start improving on the number of goals they get to score.
We need the points.
And also, I think that as coach said earlier, a win is non-negotiable. Madagascar are done and dusted. They will not qualify for the next AFCON.
They are really struggling.
They are undergoing more of a rebuilding now. They have a new coach coming to replace the previous one was sacked. So it's a new Madagascar team, rebuilding stage for them. They are playing for pride. So we are playing to qualify. And yes, it's a tricky test because this Black Stars team, when you give them your all, they can disappoint you. But I think that, as Chris Hughton said in his press conference, they are going to do their possible best to achieve complacency. He has failed to promise a win as usual. He says he's not going to promise us a win.
He should stop making those statements.
Always, he keeps saying he will not promise us. But see,
He should stop that.
For how long will he keep playing safe?
We brought you to win.
Exactly. He should stop that.
For how long will he see?
How often I don't hear managers often saying we will win this game.
Pep Guardiola can tell you
Listen
who win
to
the
Ten
game.
Hag say we are in there to win
we
it.
win the game.
By saying that we are in there to win it, I think he's saying this.
No, he said he can't promise us a win. These are two different things.
No, but which manager?
Don't promise us a win.
How many managers do actually
Mourinho
come
can
out and
promise
say,
you a win.
You see,
oh, even he doesn't.
if you listen to the way he talks,
maybe it's
if you listen to the way he
promising a win
tends
is
to-
not a common.
no, don't promise. I'm going
There are some
in
games
there
you have to
to
tell
win
us,
the game.
we'll win this one for you.
This is Ghana.
That's not a
That's-
promise.
yeah.
But that's
But
what
that's
I
an
am.
emphatic. That is an
you see,
intent.
that's what I'm saying.
That is
The
a
promise-
statement of intent.
Yeah, I can agree with coach, but the promise there.
Moving on, I also like to see how Andrea will be used for the first time under Chris Hughton. It's very important for me to see how Andrea will be used.
the bench.
Not just for you. I think that, again, right, we've said it
It
here.
sets the tone.
It's important to see what Houghton is doing with Andre.
Yeah.
Because it gives you a good idea of his plans for him and Andre's future with the team. So it's very important.
Exactly.
Especially based on how the last call-up episode
Went for him and
I
all
have
that.
said.
Andre must play.
He must do what?
He must play. Because
No.
if for the
Don't say that.
listen, coach, if for the third
Don't say that.
coach, hold on. If for the
No.
third
Don't
consecutive
say
match,
that.
Don't say that.
if for the third consecutive match, you are benching your captain,
Yeah.
then there's a clear message here.
Look, that player is
he's
better
not-
than him
he's not
currently.
significant for
Look,
you. Then
in
you don't
his
need, we didn't
role,
need to cut the collar.
Take it or leave it. When he plays in the team, where is he going to play?
Chris Hughton must decide that.
And I'm saying that there are players better than him now in this team. I can sit here on the top of my head, select a best 11 where he will never come closer to the team. Because look, in that number 10 role, in that pacey role, he is not ahead of any of the boys.
True.
Truth be told, he's been around for 16 to 17
just
years.
To go off that, the only reason I can even see him starting.
He starts on the bench.
I'm just
never
saying,
check
the only
anymore.
reason I can see him starting maybe because Inaki is not around and the other striking
We need
options
1 point.
are
and
not
then we need 1 point.
very.
FJ.
You know what I'm saying? If not for that, if Inaki was around and we had a full squad, the first squad that was named, I don't see him starting.
But quick pointers also. I think Joseph Pentil has done enough to merit starting as well.
Amen.
And
Amen.
then
Paco,
also,
you are.
Ernest Nuyama must be given some minutes to see how he
should
first
start.
goes.
Joseph
I think
Pencil on the right.
I saw how he sat.
Osman
He sat
Bukari
Professor.
or
Yeah.
Kamadi on the left. Jordan, Admo top.
Jordan.
Admo 9. Keke, Kudus, Dmo 10. Team no no ni ato team. Jordan.
For what I don't
I
don't even think Kamaldeen should start, to be honest.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I think
He's not
Bukari,
playing football, that's
Bukari should start.
Osman Bukari, Joseph Pencil.
Even
Kudus,
NS Nyama.
and then the Nyama boy. No more did I do for Philly.
For what Nuyama
Shukra.
did to Professor in training,
No.
Odoi in training, it tells you the
This is
future is
the
exciting.
Dan-
Because
the
for you to
Danish
sit the
league
professor,
player of
A
the
jealous
see, for you to sit the professor in training,
The last person I saw since the professor wasn't on Neymar or
yeah,
Vinicius.
they made him a very
There we go. That's the level of player that drops the professor.
Sunday. Show probably brought
Sunday.
to us. Yeah, Sunday. Show probably brought to us by Shell Helix. Say everybody's looking for that one thing that pushes them to bring out their best and enables them to reach peak performance. Your car wants this too, and that's why your best bet is to give it Shell Helix engine oil. Lubricants mu in Koswo Hene. Shell Helix is specially designed to bring the best out of your engine, protecting it from wear and tear, while providing the power and performance needed to give you the best ride every time. So whether you are cruising on the open road or battling with busy traffic, Shell Helix will keep your engine running smoothly. Choose Shell Helix Lubricants Moon Koswa Hene for your ultimate power, performance, and protection. Visit your local Shell station today and experience the difference for yourself. Chale, if you know Sock Puka before, my guy. How many times did I call you? They say go any provision shop for your area, no be neighborhood or area, and then go get some. If they go on, they say, hey, the ginseng and herbs just the pop. The
Blue kiosk better than Puka and Winnie.
ginseng and
If
the
they enter
what?
the blue kiosk, Puka is dominating there.
They say when it comes to herbal soft drinks with ginseng extract,
No more.
insist on Bell Puka
No more.
for a proper
Recharge.
African.
Recharge.
Thank you, my brother.
Lakab. Even in the blue kiosk.
They say herbal soft drink with ginseng and low sugar, dear.
No more.
it be Bell Puka.
And no any puka.
Another quality product from Bell Aqua and Bell Beverages.
And when the weather is extremely hilarious,
Puka will see you on your way.
puka no aketun apa.
Is Puka good for all night?
Extremely better.
Praise and worship.
Oh no more.
All of it.
You can ask Nathan Kwa. He's a client of the
Praise and worship of Puka.
Lakab.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much, Coach Nimley. Any quick shout outs before we go? Quick shout outs before. Quick shout-outs.
Yes. So no, mine is a birthday wish show.
Nathan, you got any quick
Yeah,
shout-outs?
I got one. Another strong sports panorama.
Thank you.
His name is Gershon Dundee.
Oh, Charlie.
Yeah, listening to us live now at Ablikuma. And he said that I should tell Coach that his Lille, Gershon's Lille, Hannah, loves Coach the Max.
No more Hannah, new bossy winele. Yai puka le enyo. Ene tule kone kechele. Goro michi afutule. Weda ke eba. Ni atwa pa agbena.
To Apa.
Oh, another strong sports panorama. He's an ophthalmologist. If you can, I'm wearing new glasses. You see, so I went to there. I went to see the optician, and I met this ophthalmologist, so Dr. Elikem Akwafu.
Nice one.
Dr. Akwafu, why you leaning now?
So he's an ophthalmologist. So he did all the. You guys don't wear glasses. You don't know. They put some yellow thing in your eyes and things. It's serious, but yeah, he did their thing. So he's a strong sports panorama. And I just want to give 2 birthday shout outs. So our good friend Sydney Antonio. He's celebrating celebrating birthday. So hard one. And my dear cousin Kelly Graham is celebrating her birthday. So I want to give her a shout
Cousin
out.
Kelly.
Then quick one to shake. Seydou Adamu. Listening to the sports panorama. All from the US.
Seydou Numa double.
Seydou, Felix is looking for you. Felix is looking for Seydou.
And then it's my turn.
Nice one.
You see, when
No, relax. Let me ring the bell for you. Don't start the party.
I hear, unbelievable.
Go ahead, my brother.
You see, when your wife celebrates her birthday a week before, and yours too follows just after that of your wife, then you can imagine the excitement at home. Last week, I was here wishing the registrar of Ghana Christian International High School, Mrs. Agatha Tibu. I was here wishing her a birthday.
Yep.
And today happens to be the birthday of Mr. Happy birthday to the most amazing man I have ever known.
Oh, Charlie.
Mr. Emmanuel Kofi Tibu of SIC SL. On this special day,
Special.
I pray that God answers all your secret prayers. Cause all your dreams to be fulfilled.
Alhamdulillah.
And bless you with everything you deserve. Enjoy your day, sweet love. With me in the picture, your day will be absolutely complete. There will be no rough edges. No more Tibu. No more Tibu.
Tibu.
Apa Egbeshi.
Mr. Tibu, I've rang the bell for you more than 10 times. You are a Hall of Famer.
God bless you, my brother. Happy birthday.
God bless you.
Happy birthday. You know what? I sent him double
I know you.
Double chaff.
I know you.
You get me set.
Charlie.
God bless you, Mr.
You
Tibu.
sent him what?
Double smooth, double chaff.
You are blessed, my brother.
God bless you.
May God continue to bless you.
Enjoy your day.
Thank you.
I'll take the rundown from Wifey on Monday.
And that's our show for today. Thank you very much, Coach Christopher Nimley. Thank you, Susu Graham. Thank you, Evans Ofochumanso. You can call him Pichichi when you see him. Nathan Kwao as well. Thank you very much. My name is Benjamin Nketia. Show proudly brought to us by Bell Beverages, Shell Helix, and Betway. There'll be a rerun of this show tomorrow. We'll also post the link to the show on Twitter. You can get to Citi Sports GH. You can catch the show if you missed it. You can listen again if you want to listen again. Until then, keep doing the listening. We're out.